with the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. Today's date 6/13. Get a roll call. Don, you want to start?
Miller here.
There now.
Mike Spiewak.
Jake Morella, here.
Shane Bailey.
Ernie Farrell here.
Jenny Zarko.
Randy Thorpe.
Michelle Dugolsky, present.
Thank you. Donnie McDonough is absent. Okay. The bill review. Everybody get a chance to take a peek at it?
And I have two additions. Two additions when you're ready.
Sure.
Okay. First one is out of liquid fuels, Chip Construction for repairs on the traffic signals. That is $1,553.19. And the second one is out of the general fund. It is to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for not the general fund. It's out of the R.G. Wilson sports account for $500 for a NPDES permit. And that's
We have no choice, we have to pay that.
That's for the grant, right?
It's the grant, yeah.
Well,
It's for the project.
It's for the project, the whole project.
The intersection, the cross things don't work.
They still don't?
Where the little person walks and you have,
Yeah.
they're not changing.
Well, they charge us $1,200.
Well,
$1,500.
because we walked up to the grade and they were not working and they weren't working yesterday either.
Well, somebody needs to call them and tell them that.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do
Okay.
it?
Yeah, I'll call Hardship. I talked to them. They
You want to give them a copy of that bill then? I don't know,
Thanks, Shelley.
That's all that I have for the bills, and then also we got a letter from our Staples account that they're closing our account on July 31st, and decision was not based on any information regarding your credit card or credit standing, and it's just because they're changing banks to Citibank, and they're no longer honoring that.
I got the same notice in my office.
Yeah, so,
Nothing against us.
no.
I'm a little bit ashamed. I'm just getting at the ass end of a cold, okay? All right.
So going forward, I'm going to give you usually or Quill.
Yes, it's much cheaper for Quill.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Shelley.
I make a motion to pay the bills
I'll second.
with the other two added on.
You want to wait until it's fixed the lights all the way?
Yeah, that's a good point. Pay all the bills except Cup Archie.
Okay. Could be related. Jane made a motion, Randy second, pass the bills. All in favor? Aye. Nays? Ayes passed. Police report.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my apologies. Minutes.
I'll make a motion, second.
Randy made a motion to pass the minutes. Darren seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion passes. Police report.
Okay, the police report, May 2023. Disabled vehicles, 1. Assisted other police agencies, there was 2. Welfare checks on homes, 3. Motor vehicle accidents, 1. And public assist to motorists was 2 for the month. Suspicious persons, there was 1. Warrants served was 1. Written warnings issued, traffic 2. And traffic citations issued 3. 9 ongoing investigations, and 44 total calls for the month.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Mayor's report?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to thank Michelle Tuquati for our Pride and Patriotism Parade. It went off well. I know she's not here, but she did a great job, her and her team. It was well attended. The police department would like permission to buy a shop vac for the garage, which will be used by the police and the street department. Good size, heavy duty shop vac. The one they had caught fire. And you could bring that up with new business. We have 2 officers resigning. Kevin Grace for health reasons. Jacqueline Greger because she has a permanent job at Penn State. And she hasn't worked in her state. Our police department could use new vests. They're about 7 years old. They range from 1,100 to 1,200 each. We need 4. Another thing you could bring up in the new business. I talked with Mary Boshart, our tax collector, on the property on 170 Carbondale Road that hasn't cut their grass in over 2 years. And it's the second time. Anyway, that property is in a mortgage company. It's called Select Portfolio Servicing Incorporated. And it's in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Actually called him today, Chip, and they're supposed to send somebody out to mow grass.
Thank you. How'd you get that?
Thanks, Craig.
His phone number on the wall. I guess they couldn't tell me if it was in foreclosure or something, but that number that's on the wall, they're like the managers of the property. And then they said, "Oh, it's been mowed." I said, "Well, somebody's lying to you." So they're supposedly sending somebody out. And they're gonna call me. So they don't, I'll call them back.
I do have the number. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, Utah. I'd like your permission to attend the mayor's convention, July 20th to the 23rd in Lancaster, which I've been going to probably the last 5 years. And the last thing I'd like to recommend to the Borough Council that I think would be smart, appropriate, to hire a code enforcement officer. Bob Bates does it for Canaan. It's pretty hard to enforce stuff. Our police department are on night hours. And this gentleman, from what I hear, doesn't charge that much. He does a great job. And he's around during the day. So I'd
I think that's a good suggestion when we adopt, in the next month, when we adopt all the ordinances.
Did you talk to him?
Then we can enforce them.
Does he have time? Would you consider it?
I didn't ask that. Somebody told me he was zoning and code. He's just a code officer. And he does other boroughs, townships, and Wayne County. He
Okay.
sticks with Wayne County.
Okay, worth a phone call. See if he's available. The other things, new business, we'll do the shop vac, new vests, and we just have to vote on sending Mr. Mayor to Pittsburgh?
Lancaster.
Lancaster? We have a motion?
I make the motion to send the mayor.
I'll second. Craig made a motion to send the mayor to the mayor's conference. Randy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays?
Do we have a secretary that's taking on the
She's
I hate doing it from home. We can all wave.
or something.
Have a safe trip. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Zoning officers report.
There is nothing, other than what was on the bill list. Let me see here, please, Travis. Zoning, we have looks like what they did was they visited a property on Belmont Turnpike, and postage. So no fees, that's it.
What was
That's what I have.
what was the bill for that one?
128.76,
Okay.
and, let me see. That was it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Thanks, Kelly. Solicitor's report.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, sir.
How about the letter? Did you send the letter to the,
I did not send the letter.
okay. They need tonight, right, Phil? Okay. Or no?
Oh,
What's the
that's
letter?
last night.
Oh, not last night.
Actually, I think I dictated it from here. I think we did send out a copy.
Okay.
It was I did send a letter, and it was very short and sweet. I just didn't get a response from them.
Well, it wasn't,
Just said
well,
that
it
we
wasn't read last night, so they must have got it, or it would have been read.
I dictated it that night, right after the meeting. I'll check with Melinda tomorrow morning.
Although our secretary was away too, wasn't there, so.
Okay.
But it was just very short and sweet, what you were asking for, let
Right.
us know.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 2 sentences.
Yeah, I'd just like to move forward in that project, you know?
Okay. Correspondence.
I have a couple of things here. The BLS responses to, in Waymart Borough for the month of May, 67 dispatches, 65 responses, unavailable 2 times. 28 calls were in Waymart, 27 were covered by Cottage. I don't know what to do with this, but
Thank you, Jane.
and then, the Waymart Volunteer Fire Company, they had a medical call at 407 Tuttle Road, medical call 40 Gravity Plain, assist, companies, brush fire on Salem Mountain Road, fire police, Roosevelt Highway, Keene Lake Road, number 5, smoke investigation, Belmont Turnpike and Stanton Drive. What's AFA?
Automatic fire alarm.
Automatic fire alarm 205, Carmondale Road, automatic fire alarm Owego, Bunting Drive. 8, brush fire 885, St. Pecans Road. 9, medical call 21 Tuttle Road. 10, medical call 349 Belmont Street. 11, investigation 310 Holmesdale Road. 12, MVA, that's motor vehicle, that I do know. At the Wiggle and Canaan Road. 13, standby at Lake Station. 14, that AFA again, assist Station 61. And 15, structure fire assist Station 61. Station 75, which is Waymart, responded to 15 calls for the month of May.
Thank you, Jane.
Did you put this over the first one?
I will, and just to go back, I dictated that, which is our last meeting, May 9th at 8:05 p.m. Minute 35-second dictation. I said to the secretary, I'll check with her and see if it went out.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Guests and citizens.
I was wondering what's going on with the ditch in front of the house, 29 Myrtle.
Good question.
Okay,
I don't know.
because there's been, I'm assuming it's not the conservation district. There was 2 cars there the other day. The neighbors sent me a message, and I turned on the camera and watched them. I couldn't hear what they were saying. They were looking at the ditch, so I was just wondering if anybody knew what was going on.
That's up by you, right?
Yep.
Ask him a question
Okay.
before he leaves.
Wait,
I'm not leaving, I'm just going back there because I'm gonna start coughing, I don't want to
Yeah.
get sick, okay?
I
Jane doesn't want to get sick either.
I'm kind of sickly from
Greatly
the parade
appreciated.
myself.
What do you want to ask?
Well, we have a letter that has to go out for a $5,000 transfer from one grant to the other, and the mayor signed it, and Donnie is not here to sign it.
I think the vice president actually is absent.
Like,
Make a motion, authorize him to sign it and send it up.
okay, I'll have to catch up with both of you, because I have to run the letter off, I have to run the letter off again.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, Jane. We'll have to look into it. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if anybody else has.
Okay. Fine. I'll watch. She's keeping an eye. She's just hoping that they don't do something that's going to not only flood her house, but flood ours. Because at one time, that water, before the new neighbors got in there, when Jim and Hella were still there, the water went into the cellar window and flooded them out.
They didn't dig or anything? They were just there
Nope,
looking?
they were just there
Conservation?
looking stuff over. I'm assuming it was conservation.
Okay.
It was a gray car, 2 gray cars,
Usually there'll be more.
green or blue lettering on the
Oh.
one door. I couldn't read it.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
But they did have the blue license plates.
Okay.
So it was some form of county or state government.
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Jane was asking to fix the lights on the Welcome to Waymart sign. And the battery and the control unit and everything is built into this. This does work, so it's all one piece. There's no name, there's no numbers on it.
What do you suggest we do?
I didn't check Amazon yet. I stopped to see Chuck to see if he couldn't get anything. Home Depot didn't have anything listed, so I didn't look on Amazon yet. But it looks like the cheapest thing is to replace the whole thing. And they did the easy one that's up in the field, not the one that's off the highway down there. But they're both identical.
Yes,
So,
remember the boy that lives by you, did him, the signs.
who was that?
He was a Boy Scout.
Whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're long gone.
Yeah,
I don't know where they
that's
went.
what Chuck said. He said he
Yeah,
couldn't
they
remember
moved.
his name, but they moved
Yeah.
away and he couldn't remember.
Yeah,
Larry would.
But I stopped at Home Depot and they have nothing
okay.
close or compatible or anything.
Okay.
So I'll look on Amazon.
I don't know what they go for. I
See
couldn't even tell you.
if they list. Well, finding one is the biggest thing.
Oh, sure.
Everything's contained into like one unit now. The solar panel and the lamp and everything, and it's going to be difficult because the solar panel
What
has
if
to
we
be on
made
the
this to
side.
buy and get rid of this and buy a new one?
Well, that's what I'm going to do. Is
Yeah.
get a whole new assembly, but everything seems to be contained in one unit, and I don't know if it's going to work on the way the sign is set up. Because the solar panel points toward the sun, and the lights over here
Oh,
pointing at the sign. So
Okay.
I'll do some more checking.
Thank you.
Fred? Thanks, Sarah.
Is that it for guest speakers?
There's our donation for Dallas.
Oh.
Darren?
Chip, I sent that letter, was sent to Tony,
Thanks, Jerry.
wasn't sent to your secretary.
Okay, and he was there, didn't he?
Was he? All right, I'll check with her, make sure.
It works in here.
yay.
I just worked to the wall. Won't you put it back
We
down?
didn't do anything with the email and the interview. I know we were talking about that.
That, we said that we needed to know the address, and they never responded.
It wasn't in the letter, or was it in the email?
No,
Okay.
it could be not even a Waymart.
Right. There was somewhere talking
Otherwise, you have to do a 30-day extension.
I know, that's the problem with the right to know law, that's a very strict law.
Someone did respond to her.
Shelley
To
did.
that email?
I did another one.
Oh.
You know,
But this Airbnb.
the Airbnb, the guy never got back with the address.
Oh, okay, so we're waiting on him to do that.
Yes.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So, you know what, I just want to, on behalf of the department, I want to thank you for coming out and seeing what we do and seeing what the operations and how stuff works, and actually taking a look at what happens. So thank you for coming
Very
out.
thankful, job, you guys do a lot of work.
Thank you for coming out.
People realize how much goes into it. Appreciate it, the kids loved it too.
Good. Anytime.
Thank you, really appreciate it.
And they make good chicken too.
Anybody else, guests and citizens? No? You guys want to do your report now?
No, actually, I set it up there. She took care of it for me.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
Good
Okay,
deal.
I'm sorry.
I did a report for him.
All right, number one, Jane.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to say that in the borough, we got a great turnout at the parade, and I sent it into the borough magazine, so it was printed in the borough magazine. And I also sent it to a couple newspapers and things. So, it was a wonderful parade, excellent. I wished more people on council were there. All right, I attended the legislative lunch, and I'm sorry that none of the rest of you attended it. The Chamber of the Northern Northern Poconos, was with Wayne and Pike County Commissioners. It was May 22nd at Lucan's Farm Resort in Hawley. Of course, the food is wonderful. But it was a wonderful time to interact with other people that are doing many of the things that we are doing here, and seeking out grants and doing things that try to promote Wayne County. So it was a very, very wonderful event, and the pictures of the 6 commissioners on the back of the invitation, and I hope that next year that some of you can go to it also. I know if you're working, it was difficult because it was at 12 o'clock. And while we were there, Jacqueline Kramer gave a report about the housing needs and assessment for a market study of Wayne County. And our mayor has gone up there to our Wayne County housing development, and I also did too. Remember last fall we had a presentation about the veterans?
Yeah.
They're going to build apartments up there. So after I talked to Jacqueline, I said, you know, what is the status of this? So I went up there and I met with Joe, I can't think of his name, and Alan Pasca. Her I know. She's a local yokel. So we went over the whole study, and they are going to complete their plans, and they're going to ask for a meeting with us to change to a couple little things in the zoning ordinance needs to be addressed for that zone, so that they can put 30 very small apartments, but apartments for the veterans. And so one thing that they talked about was the need in Wayne County for veterans, and this is a whole study now of all Wayne County. But for the veterans, I thought this was interesting, that the civilian population of 18 and over is 950 people. The veterans are 91, which is 9.6%. The veterans with any disability are 39, and the veterans below poverty level are 20. And this is just in our borough. So they are going. I had called to Jonathan and the mayor, as I said, he went up there and talked with them and gave him a copy of the assessment for Wayne County. So that was a very important and enlightening. So we want to support that and have that problem solved about the zoning, so that they can go ahead with that. Now, the American Rescue money. Everybody please take a copy. There are a couple little changes, but we're sort of in a holding pattern. Our assets together are $162,825.24. These are all the expenditures to date, and they add up. If there's a question about any of them, but they all add up to $72,276.70. Which doesn't sound like much out of 162,000, but we must also consider the fact that we have committed matching funds of 35,000 towards the Bob Wilson Field and 50,000 towards Wayside Park. So that is 85,000. So if you add the 85,000 and what we spent so far, you come to $157,276.70. And when you subtract that from the total assets, there's $5,548.54 left in American Rescue. The problem with the whole thing is this could be completely changed. Why? Because of all these grants that we have out here. And so that is the next great problem with the DCNR and the DCED. Now, as I reported to you a couple months ago, the deadline for hopefully Jonathan and Rosemary, Representative Fritz and Senator Brown, and also Joe that used to represent us. He is, and they're all in back of this, and they're hoping to get $255,000 for the Bob Wilson project. But I don't know if you ever watched PNC, but they're having a terrible time in Harrisburg. And I'll just leave it at that. It's because it's one vote difference between the Republicans and Democrats. And unfortunately, we're caught in this, why are we going to get the money or aren't we? That's what it boils down to. And so we're in a holding pattern. And we only have 2 more weeks left in the month because the fiscal year starts July 1st. If we're going to get this $255,000 or whatever they decide, $100,000 or whatever for the field, we'll know by the 30th of this month. The 1st of July, our treasurer, because of the letter that I had wrote that they required us to the DCNR, we have to return the $107,500. That's in a separate account. And I know it's very complicated. If you want to talk more about it afterwards, I try to explain it to you. But so you might say we're in a holding pattern and we're not going to know 100% to the July meeting. If we get the grant, the DCED, that's only 15% match, where the DCNR is 50% match. So therefore, if we get the second grant, which would prefer over the first grant, the majority of the money comes from that, then we will have more money to spend out of American Rescue. It's like playing a game of what they used to call it, they move from one to another. So it's hard to understand, but that's the thumbnail thing. So the funding for, I know I'd like to go ahead. In fact, I talked to Joe Gillott today and tonight. In fact, he's up at Equinox right now. God bless him. He's up there where my brother is. And he said that the problem is, are we going to, what stipulations are they going to put on us when they give us the money? He said that's going to be the problem. Because the original grant, as you have pointed out, was to change the dugout. Or dugout, what do you call it? Yeah. So, I don't know how, it's just, right now, I just praying and hoping. That's it. If you have any questions, see me afterwards.
Any questions for Jane?
Oh, by the way, do you mind that would you please make a motion to pay me back the $45 to go to the legislative luncheon?
Make a motion to pay back Jane.
That was on the bill list.
It was on the bill list, but I didn't get their permission. I didn't ask them yet to do it. Oh.
All in favor? All in favor, say aye. Nays? Ayes, pass. Thank you, Jane. Budget and Finance, Donnie? Absent. Streets and Roads, me. We've got 2 bids to open for the 2023 Waymark Rural Roadway Improvements Project. Both were handed in on time, one from Pocono Spray Patch, one from Waco Incorporated. Open them up, see if they have their bid bonds. And both are labeled correctly. Bid bond attached. Everything signed. AAA documents, everything looks like it's there. So, Pocono Spray Patch, grand total amount of bid, $58,964.70. 58,964.70.
And who's that from?
That's from Pocono Spray Patch in Gouldsboro. Okay. And Waco Incorporated. Bond is included. Everything looks like it's filled out. Waco Incorporated's grand total $103,675.30.
Did they understand?
You did the same job?
That's more than double.
Yeah. Let's check it out. Okay. Line items. Yeah, all the line items are filled out. Yeah, it just looks like their costs are double. Okay. Chris wants to take a peek at it. They're both, everything's here, Chris, if you want to take a look at it.
More important that the specs match up with what we
Well, that's
want.
what
Yeah.
I was saying.
Yeah, everything is-
As long as they match up, doesn't matter what's in the other one.
Right. Rules say we have to go to the lowest apparent bidder. And everything's filled out. They both have the same forms. So the apparent low bidder is Pocono Spray Patch.
Do we know anything about them?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they do good work. I've known that.
So what does it cover? What streets now?
So the streets that we have on the table here, because it is, even at Pocono Spray Patch is 58,000. Liquid fuels, we had 40.
We have, right now with the bill, Caharchicks, we have 52,943 plus Caharchicks, if you take 1,553 off of there.
Okay,
So
it's about 50,000. Okay. So that's the apparent locator. What is, the roads. Homesdale Road. So we have Homesdale Road from South Street up to Sleepy Hollow, then Sleepy Hollow Road, and then,
They're not from South Street,
what's that?
not from South Street.
It's the back side of South Street, like down past the church,
Oh, okay.
up to Sleepy Hollow, and then you have Sleepy Hollow Road,
That's Homestead Road.
from Homesdale Road to the dead end. So you have Homesdale Road from South Street to Sleepy Hollow, and then all of Sleepy Hollow from Homesdale Road to the cul-de-sac. And then South Street by Craig's house, that little section. Then you have South Street from Belmont up to the hotel, and then Myrtle Street, all of Myrtle Street. And there's also 22 tons of patching, which I don't think we need 22 tons of patching, so we could cut that in half. But we're still at 58,000. So the apparent low bidder is Pocono Spray Patch. We just have to decide what roads to do and not to do, because we only have 50,000 to spend.
Are they broken out?
Yeah. So the contract's written. We could eliminate a line item, so that's not a problem.
You just said that you thought there was too much patch.
Yeah. So their cost for the 22 tons is 5,000. We need some, but we don't need the whole amount. So we could take half from there, and
We also have money in the budget,
right.
you know.
Right.
So
No, I know that. You hate to dump everything you have, but it's up to you guys.
Can I see?
Sure.
Just which roads are in the worst condition?
I would say definitely Homesdale Road in front of the church, from South Street up to Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow's in pretty rough shape. Myrtle Street's in pretty rough shape. This street's not bad,
No.
out in front of the borough building. We could just ditch this one
Right,
and then do all the patching.
right,
Because this one's really not that bad.
right.
If that's what you want to do.
How much would that save us? That broke down on there?
Yeah,
Do you think that we should have an engineer look it over or not?
I don't think so.
All right, then we just have a motion that after studying the specifications, that we have a motion on to accept that bid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the apparent low bidder would be Pocono Spray Patch, and the way the contract's written is we can exclude a line item, so. We can make a motion to pass it.
Exclude this, right?
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's not too bad.
How much is that?
But then we might find to the end though that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we can still do it.
If it doesn't need it, why waste the money?
Right.
They have to keep it immediately. You said you want to drain everything.
They made a mistake here. They have section 2 of South Street. They have $2.09, but they have a total of $107,044.50.
Is it just a typo? Yeah.
No, that's 10,700.
Yeah. It's 3705 squares.
10,000.
Mm-hmm.
They forgot to put the comma.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The 10,000, well, I'm assuming this is section 2. That'd be 10,700, Randy.
Right here, this,
I'm assuming this is section 2.
Yeah, which is more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
well, I say we hold off on that.
Okay.
It doesn't really need it.
But if we accept it, we have to go all the way to that point, right? The 58,000.
No, we can exclude. We are entitled. The way the contract's written is the borough can add or subtract.
Okay.
So
Two
that would be
weeks
item
line.
5.
Somebody's gotta give us a suggestion how we should word this motion. I'm not sure how to do it.
Well, the apparent low bidder would be Pocono Spray Patch, and we can exclude, to exclude South Street.
Item 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So if we have a motion
I'll
to,
make a motion to accept the bid of Pocono Spray Patch for $58,964.70, excluding item 5, description of South Street, section 2, for $10,744.
Craig made a motion. Darren seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Nays? Motion passes. I will contact Pocono Spray Patch.
Yeah, the extra patch.
Oh, yeah, we can, I think we can save a little bit there too. I think we could do that half. Yeah. I'll take a spin around town and check everything out.
That.
Right. I don't think we need that. Thank you. Okay. Parks and Recreation.
Oh, man. Oh, that's all right. Concerned about the abandoned structure behind Carl Williams' house, the garage, where the roof just came in.
That's next to the Waymart
And so
lumber.
is Martin's house.
Yes, I know.
When you go down the railroad bed, of course, you see the Martin's garage, and that is caved into.
Yeah, I know. Do we have any, I mean, it is a hazard.
But I would like to invite everybody to go down Maple Street and look at Mr. Lutz's. That has to be one of the worst junkyards I've ever seen. And it goes all the way down to Evergreen Street. And we have sent him letters, and we've never followed up. I got the letter in my box right here
Right.
that we sent when Debbie was here, and nothing's been done.
So I guess Solicitor, do we have any repercussions for these unsafe buildings in the borough?
I have to look at our
Private buildings?
unsafe private buildings. Are we talking about what Jane's talking about?
Yeah, the garage is caving in.
The roof is caved in on both of those
Yeah,
structures.
I have to check
you know,
our ordinances and see.
We do have a demolition ordinance, but of course, we still haven't adopted it.
Right.
That's the problem.
So we may have to wait for them.
yeah.
And I want them adopted at the next meeting, I can tell you that, but this has gone on long enough.
Yeah, I'm into that. Will be ready? $1 million question.
Yeah.
I talked to Mr. Shepstone yesterday. I was going to report this a little later. If you look at that piece of paper that I already gave you, and we see we have paid him 4 times,
Correct.
I added it up. And that's $12,887.30. And he informed me, so I went to see Michelle, and I said, do we have a contract? And she said, well, I don't know, I guess so, maybe. And I said, I thought you told me it was going to be 10,000.
That's what she said.
And then this, I'm glad you're all sitting down, then he informed me that the zoning ordinance has to be done separately, and that's going to cost another $2,000. And at this point, we have no choice.
So zoning and the borough are two different, it's two different animals?
It's such a complicated ordinance, it's about 45 pages long. And I didn't know, I thought the $10,000 meant all the ordinances.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yeah, we all do.
You know? So I said to Michelle, would you try to dig out something for this meeting? I told her we were meeting tonight, you know? But I don't know.
Well, we need to get it done, so we keep paying them.
Well, and the last one tonight, did you check on that third bill?
That was on here.
Okay, because I thought he gave us a duplicate bill, and because of the last month, you know, Shelley wasn't here and so forth and so on. But it's a very professional job. It's going to be a job I wouldn't want to do, to go through all of them. It's all online now, and the main book is there where our solicitor's sitting. The main book is there with all the new ordinances in it, but I never thought that zoning wasn't covered.
None of us do.
So we have to put that in the budget for next year, 2000. And I gotta, and this time get a contract on it
Yeah.
for $2,000.
Yeah.
So I hate to bring bad news, but
We don't mind the change.
you love me anyway, right?
So it will be right for the next meeting? You will.
Possibly.
He said he would, after he had the meeting here, you know, and everything. And he went back and had 2 or 3 suggestions from the group here.
Yeah.
Then he answered all those, and so I talked to him on the phone, and he told me tonight that he was gonna call me before the meeting, and he didn't. So, I talked to him yesterday.
Thanks, Shane. Thanks, Craig.
All right, that's all I got. Yeah, Jane already answered the question about the baseball, so still waiting. That's all I have.
Okay. Utilities, Mr. Miller?
I have, the water needs to be tested at 66 Railroad Lane by an ASSE certified tester to make sure it's safe to drink.
Is that the sewer treatment plant?
No, it wouldn't be. It's either the ambulance corps or the garage.
Excuse me? Back to, yeah.
Oh, is it the backflow?
Backflow test.
Oh, okay.
It isn't the Induscore, isn't that 32?
66, that's all I
I don't know.
Google me right,
66.
Chip. Google me right.
On the bill, when you get the bill to pay,
It just goes with the little.
oh, it doesn't have the address on it? I don't know what they mean.
I That would be the only place would be.
Gosh, right?
It has to be one or the other, but I don't know which one it is.
Is there drinking water in that?
There is
It's just a backflow preventer. It's an aqua mandate.
Who is,
Yeah.
who's certified?
There's
I
no-
think construction.
Yeah, there's only a few people.
Okay. It is the area authority,
It is the area, yeah.
66
Right.
Railroad.
That's what I thought saying this was 32 or something like that.
We can mail it to them.
Has to be done by the end of June.
I'll take it over.
Yeah, take it over tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, see if they got our letter.
And there is a couple questions on their street signs. Are you doing like Rockwell Lane and
Every street.
Wyndham Road,
Yep.
Silvercrest?
Yep,
So every street.
every street, no matter whether it's a borough street or not,
Or a private.
it has to be, even private ones, people when they're driving their car have to know the street name.
Oh, we're almost done with that.
Okay, that's super.
Just didn't know about those.
How about
As we're
other
getting
signs? Like, I noticed out here, the bridge on East Street, the only thing you can read is 5. You know, tons and the other word, you can't read them.
Look at those too.
Well, that would be PennDOT.
That's a PennDOT thing.
Should be PennDOT.
But who decides that it's 5 tons?
PennDOT.
East Street, that's our bridge.
But it's our
Right.
bridge. and
Yeah,
our
we
street.
lowered that, because last time I was on the council, that was 10, we lowered that because of the
Because of the
buses.
school buses,
Right,
yes.
we lowered that down to 5. That was the last time I was on there,
Well, you can't
because we
even,
had inspectors.
you can barely read the sign now.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I haven't looked at the other bridge. I mean, I keep forgetting to look at the other bridges to see what signs need there. And there are some stop signs that need to be, too.
I'll note those down. Are we doing the bridge signs or is that PennDOT thing?
Well, they don't pay for them. They don't pay for anything now, PennDOT.
You're right.
I'll jot that down.
Okay. Thanks, Don. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Safety, Mr. Howell?
I just had somebody approached me and asked just for verification that a residentially zoned property can be used for business purposes.
Not usually.
Did they give an address?
No, they just, they said they looked and they said that it's residential and they wanted to make sure that
Is it an R1 or an R2?
R2.
And that's as far as it went?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
There's not much we could do about it, yeah. Until they bring it to us. Okay, purchasing and building.
Nothing to report.
Okay,
Would
unfinished.
you buy some batteries, so I don't keep buying batteries for the, like the mouse and a couple other things in there,
Is that any double A's?
yeah.
Because I bought that pack of double A's.
Well, the pack is
It's
gone.
gone. Okay.
Unless we lock them up, they ought to mysteriously disappear. There's no batteries left.
Yeah, so I'll fix it.
Mhm.
Unfinished business, anybody? Going once, going twice. New business, we have shop vacs and vests. Shop vac. Saw them on sale for $80 at the depot.
We didn't have to approve that, right, because we told fire, or they told the police they had them for $300, right?
You're right. You're right,
They
Greg.
do that themselves.
Thank you. And the vest.
That's good.
Just
The vest, they should certainly go for a grant,
for sure.
definitely.
Okay.
The last 2 times I worked for Holly, I applied for a grant for Holly, and that paid for half of it. And if you apply to Wounded Warriors, lots of times they'll pay the other half.
Sure. Okay. Do you know if they look into any vests or any grants?
That's a federal grant.
Okay.
Should have put plate carriers.
Pardon?
Their plate carriers.
Still on.
Plate carriers.
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
Mhm.
Makes a difference.
Okay.
We'll have to put it in next year's budget anyway,
Yeah.
Right.
by that time, they.
Okay, and then new solar lights for Eugene, well, for Eugene's in charge of. I thought maybe we should just set a dollar amount. I don't know what they go for, but maybe not to exceed $250. Does anybody have any?
Total or each?
I don't know what they go for.
I can't imagine being that much, but when I was at Home Depot looking to see what they had.
Okay.
Most of them were
That's
under.
it, 250.
Most of them were under.
Total, right, okay, so we'll make a motion,
They weren't right
not to
either.
exceed $250, and then you can get what you need, or get with Randy if you need him to purchase it, and then just bring us a receipt. We have a motion?
I'll make a motion to buy the motion lights.
Free labor.
And with free labor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And weed whacking.
And we whack.
Weeds are getting out of control.
Yeah. Jane made a motion to spend not more than $250 on solar lights for the Waymart Borough signs. Randy seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Sean. That's it.
I do want to say again that the firemen did a fantastic job.
Yes, he did.
It
So
was
no
a-
chicken next year.
Yeah.
It was the longest.
You guys have another one?
In the
Have a
fall.
motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
I'll make the
Brenna's
motion.
turn.
Craig made a motion to adjourn.
Yay.
Second. All in favor?
You got it.
Aye.